होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में इतना सा फर्क है, एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी। ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to Franchise India. I am Gaurav, Marya, Chairman of Franchise India Group. So welcome to a very special webinar, which we're starting for a special purpose. You know, this is a new series we have started, which is called Successpreneur. And this series is started by, you know, it's more thanking our network, because in last 2 years, Franchise India has been doing almost about 4,000 webinars. And I felt that we got so much of response by investors who came to us. And I felt it is my responsibility, because Franchise India has been blessed by these investors for the last 24 years in terms of helping them start their new business. A lot of them have been very, very successful, but some have also not been very successful. So it was important for me to probably take time out every week to discuss with investors what are the challenges they face, what are the challenges they face, what are the issues they have when they're thinking about starting a business. And if I can guide them through in terms of, because Franchise India has sold more business than anybody else in the world. So we have a lot of experience available with us. So we can make an active discussion rather than just a standard webinar, where we can really take up your questions, understand where you're coming from, what are the worries you have, what are the issues you have when you're starting your entrepreneurial journey. And I should congratulate you, all of you who are now watching, that you have decided that you want to start your entrepreneurial journey. And this is first step for you, first step to decide what is the right business, how you choose that business, and how you become successful. I always say that becoming an entrepreneur is one mindset. Second, just becoming an entrepreneur is the need. It's not your need. The need is to become a successful entrepreneur. And that's why this series called Successpreneur, how you really start your successful entrepreneurial journey. Entrepreneurship, while it comes with a lot of excitement, but it also comes with a lot of risk, a lot of baggage also, because the baggage of what you want from your life and so on and so forth. And India, because we are a very insecure society, we have a lot of fears, you know, and fears because we don't want to lose money. We don't want to really lose whatever we earned, and especially for a country like India, where 40% of business investors, 40% of all business investors are people who are investing into business first time. They've never done business. So it becomes even more. So over the years, I found the 5 things which are very important, which is a starting point. And you can make notes, and you can also use the Q&A box to ask many questions. 5 things which I see in people who are getting into business, they would always have. First is they have a lot of fear. Fear is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You should have fear. When you're getting into a business, you should have some form of fear, because there is a lot of things on risk. Your reputation, your money, your family life, everything gets onto risk when you have a failed business. I know a lot of things change in your life. So you have to have fear. But fear comes from where? Let's understand that. It comes from uncertainty. You don't know what you're getting into. Because you don't know what you're getting into, you have a lot of fear. Second, you are confused what to do. You're very confused. You don't know what brand to go, especially when people come to Franchise India shows or Franchise India events or our conferences or even our webinars. We have done over 750 new brand launches in last 2 years. 750 new brands. And these are established companies, large companies, mid-sized companies, a lot of startups. So it gets confusion. What should be done? What industry you should invest? Because this confusion exists with you because you're not well researched. It's very, very important because you're not researched. And Ulas makes the first question. Let me keep taking questions also. We can make it very interactive. And if you want me to speak in Hindi also, I can make some Hindi. That also you can tell me on an entire thing. Very important question Ulas has asked. And this is really the biggest nightmare I also have. What brands to be trusted? What is the commitment these brands bring in? How they want to really look after their investors and so on and so forth. This is very important. So fear and confusion comes from two things. One is uncertainty and second is not well researched. So one of the areas which is a starting point is very, very important for these two things. These are two good things because it tells you to put the right way to your successful entrepreneurial journey. Third is also the expectation. What expectation you have? Sometimes I see people have very low expectations being entrepreneur journey. If you're getting into entrepreneur journey, you should have higher expectations from yourself, from your own performance, because end of the day, you might be partnering with any brand, but it is your startup and you are leading it. So expectations would come from yourself. Even having a realistic expectation is not a bad idea, but always think higher expectation because you need to really take it to some level and some structure. And I have a lot of examples. I have a lot of examples that individuals have outperformed even what was expected from the brand owners. So brands owners, like there is a company I used to advise. They were master franchise for a coffee chain. It's a company called Glorigins Coffees. A master franchise of Australia actually became so successful that he bought over the brand because he had a very high expectation from him. He actually went in depth. He built the business by brick and created a fabulous operations, which actually became more valuable than the parent company. And the same thing happened in India, but Domino's, Jubilant Foods was valued more than the parent company. So it's actually about the operator, what kind of expectations and high standards he sets for himself. That's very, very important. So always think about that. Fourth is, what is your real strengths? What is your real strengths? Prachi, welcome. She's from Hyderabad, took one of the franchises in food and collapsed, right? So this happens with a lot of people, right? They get into business because I call that business buying before Franchise India was done by 3F: friends, family, and fools. Friends, family, because somebody is successful in these two ecosystem, you try to copy that. But third happens because you think something is successful, but you don't know about that business. Like some food is always attractive to a lot of people. They think food has the best margin. Actually, the minimum margin business is today food. Food is very tight. It needs operationally to be controlled from your buying of products to manufacturing, which means producing the F&B business and then to delivering to customer. It's extremely, extremely tight. And then on platforms take a lot of commission. So your business is very, very tight unless and until you understand. It's a good business. And globally, QSR contributes 30% in franchising. But I know a lot of entrepreneurs don't make it in that thing because they might not be operationally available to handle the business. So this is where my third point really comes in. Have you assessed your own strengths? Have you assessed your strengths, that what is your strength area? I call the 4 fits of franchising. One is what I call strategic fit, financial fit, marketing fit, and operational fit. Again, repeat: strategic fit, financial fit, operational fit, and marketing fit. But there is one fit which is bigger in your perspective and your strength area. You might be somebody who's more strategic. You might be somebody who has deep-pocketed financial capability. You might be somebody who can work hard. You can put your operational time. Or you might be somebody who is great in marketing. You can take any product to go to market. What is your strength area? But if, say, Prachi wanted to get into food, she would have seen that, am I operationally ready to take that business? Can I go give my 10, 12 hours in this business and appropriately handle that? And one of the mistakes a lot of people, entrepreneurs, who get into food, they are outsider to their own business. Outsider. I feel that if you want to run a food business, you should be behind the counter. Really get on to involve in yourself, get on to doing things yourself, and then you become successful, because end of the day, demand is there. And if you take control of that, you can run that. So sometimes you're too much dependent on the franchisor, and franchisor is going to supply everything to you. They would going to handle your marketing. They're going to handle the entire thing. Food is a neighborhood business. It's just about 3 to 5 kilometers. That's where you need to really do that. If you give good product, you sustain. And other things can go wrong. You can get a wrong site and a wrong location. That all can happen. But staying there, understand your strength well. Absolutely understand your strength well. What is your real strength? And be very honest about it. And second, what differentiation you bring with you coming in that business. That's very important. And fifth is your commitment level. That also, I feel that sometimes people start their entrepreneurial journey with not very clear defined commitment. And commitment is just not about, your resources you're committing to. It's about your mindset that you are going to give to this business. What is the mindset you're going to give business? I have seen people who started a business, closed in 4 months, and then gave reasons to all other things. Reasons to not having financially performing, not getting the right support, or not having this or not having that, and return to whatever they were doing. They went back to job, but their commitment level was so low, very low. It was not a long-term thinking. So again, repeating, starting an entrepreneur journey is easy. Anybody can become an entrepreneur. You leave your job, next day morning, you tell, I'm an entrepreneur now. I want to start my own business. Becoming a successful entrepreneur is a very careful decision. So 5 things which I will repeat again for everybody, because a lot of people have now joined in, which really creates roadblocks. One is you have a lot of fears. Fears come from uncertainty. You have a confusion what you should do. It comes because you're not well researched. Expectation, always set it high. Strengths, be very clear what is your strength area. Write it down. Understand what is your strength area. And finally, have a long-term commitment to whatever you're doing. Then only start your entrepreneurial journey, because that would need a lot of things. And now let's get on to, when you start your entrepreneurial journey, what should be the starting point? Starting point is the mindset. Mindset has to be right. And you need to write down your life goals, because your business goals would never work unless and until you know your life goals. Because your business goals are actually going to be fulfilling your life goals. That's very important. And you need to understand and set the right thing. What is the next 10 years looking to you? What are the major events coming in your life? How are you going to be supporting that from all your business, what you need to do? That is very, very important. And that would set your right expectations. Because if you don't know what you want, you will not be able to find what opportunity you want to take it. First, you need to find yourself, what you want. What is your goal? And that is very unique to everybody. And there's no real answer to it. People have different expectations from themselves. And what is your expectation has to be done. Then do a little bit of a internal inner circle brainstorming with your family, with your closest friends, maybe a mentor or a business coach. Work with them. Understand that your life goals, what is your expectation, how it needs to be done. Put this 15 days there and make notes. Maybe 2022 is coming. This is a perfect time to make a decision in your life to start a new business in New Year. But this next 20 days, it can be your mindset building for you to take a decision in 2022. Then understand your resources. Now, this is very, very, very important to really understand what resources you have and how you want to really do that. It's extremely important. Resources are very, very important to be really and realistic. And I'll come down to that when we go to the steps of entire. And then set timelines. Timelines are also very important. Let me start this question. Let's make it more interactive. Now, a lot of people have joined in. So give me what brings you here? What brings you to this webinar? And are you looking to start a business? And if yes, what is a timeline you have set for yourself? How many of you want to start a new business in 60 to 90 days? Give me an answer on that, or any other timeline comes in. So how many of you are looking to start a business in 60 to 90 days, or any other timeline comes to you? Want to do it next year, you are not very clear about it, any thought process really comes in, because that's very, very important. Aman Rai, you're raising hand. You can go out and write in a Q&A box. Ulas says again, he says 60 days, but I can also stretch it to about 3 months. That's good. That's a good thinking process, because you should put a timeline, but that doesn't mean that you're in a hurry. You're not in a hurry unless and until things which go on. Devendra says, I want to do in 3 months. Great. Again, 3 months. Mr. Gupta says he wants to do in 6 months. So he want to go even more researched and do this piece. But whatever date is there, it should be firm in your mind. I know a lot of people explore entrepreneurship, but they never do, because sometimes fear overtakes, sometimes confusion overtakes, sometimes they're not having timelines. They're busy doing whatever they're doing, and they have no date which becomes the date to their entrepreneurship journey. And that date is very important. There is an event in life which happens, and sometimes this is forced event. You lost your job and you have to start by something, right? You had something which happened in your life which pushed you into any business. Sometimes somebody encouraged you to take that call. That one evening you were sitting with your friend and he guided you through, and then what are you doing? You're wasting your talent. You need to start. There is an event which happens in your life which puts you into this. Some are very consciously driven becoming entrepreneurs. Some are accidental entrepreneurs. So really speaking, you need to ask yourself, but fix that date. Look, a lot of people have joined in and only about 10 have given the answer, which tells that these 10 have the mindset. And others are not even sure. They join webinars, but they're not even sure what they want to do. They're not even sure why they are there in the Success Entrepreneur webinar. So Aman wants to do in 30 days. He's in rush. I would say, Aman, stretch it a little more. Put more another 30 days or 60 days, 90 days. You need to do well research. Don't just jump, and don't repent that you didn't do research enough. Very, very important. A lot of people repent. I would have researched enough. You research enough. Dhara wants to do in January end. Again, she's in rush. Ankur wants to do in 3 to 4 months. Whatever that is, Ankur, I always say it is either 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever that date is there. Whatever that date, maybe your birthday, you decided that this is a date I would like to start, or this particular date, which is your mother's birthday or whatever that time is coming in. There is a time and there is an event which is going to happen. And that's the timeline you set for yourself, and go for it and do that business. Now, once you have decided that date, then you have to go through the next cycle, right? So it's very important that we understand what is the next cycle. So 8 things which you should do to build a successful entrepreneurial journey. And any questions comes on these 8, please keep asking, because more interactive we do, more you will take home something, right? Because end of the day, it's very important for you to take home out of this. Even if I'm able to help one person out of this whole webinar, my day is made. One person who can be successful as an entrepreneur, and I made a difference in his life. That's very, very important for me. This webinar has only that purpose. This has no other purpose. I don't want to sell you anything. I don't want to give you any services. I just want to pass a genuine information so that you are able to make the right and wise decision whenever you're making a decision to become an entrepreneur. So the first is how to make the right choice. So out of 8 things, the first point I'm talking about, how to make the right choice, what business you need to start. Now, this is very, very important and the most difficult decision to answer. Should I go with businesses which are showing a greater ROI? Because everybody rushes to an ROI. This ROI is a very abused term, being used from stock market to mutual funds to everybody else, from property owners. Everybody is using this term called return on investment. Most of the people don't even understand what it means. What it means, they just want for an entire thing. A lot of people come to me and say, I need a business with good ROI. I said, what is your expectation of ROI? He says, well, it should be good ROI. I said, okay, if it is a good ROI, if I tell you a business which gives you a 50% ROI, is it a good ROI? He says, it's a good ROI. I said, but I told you that the business has a lot of risk also. No, I don't want to take that. So which means people have a very confused mind. They want to really have a lowest risk and highest ROI. Now, no business is like that. No business is like that. Absolutely nobody. Nobody can guide you the lowest risk and highest ROI. ROI, return on investment, is proportionate to the risk you carry. If you go in stock market, there's a higher risk than mutual fund. If you go in property, a different risk level, but lower risk than other assets. So ROIs would change. active business which you want to start, your entrepreneurial journey, normally gives you the best ROI than any other passive investment would give. But it will also carry risk. So unless and until you're very clear about what you want, and a lot of professionals come to me, they want to make a lot of money, but they don't want to invest. So which means the return on investment is not a play. They want to waste. A lot of people come to me, they want to invest maybe 10, 15 lakh rupees, but their expectation is to make 2-3 lakh rupees a month. Now it doesn't fit in the whole business world. Because at the end of the day, return on investment with the 10, 15 lakh rupees, you cannot make 5 lakh rupees or 3 lakh rupees a month. It doesn't make financial sense. It doesn't make a business sense. But there are businesses which can do that. But there are different type of businesses, the different ROI businesses. That ROI is, to me, return on intelligence or return on involvement, where you are an operator, you're running yourself. Like chart accountants, management consultants, lawyers, they don't put capital, but they make good money. But they bring in their skill, they bring in their intelligence in that entire thing. So you have to really understand where you are, what choices you need to make. Before you decide what is the business, you need to connect few dots. The first dot is really to choose the industry you want to get into. Why you're choosing that industry, what difference you bring to that industry, what is your strategic component which can complement that industry. That's very, very important. The second is you need to then choose the right brand. Very importantly, why are you choosing this brand over many other opportunities which are available in the market? Third, you need to really do and define your marketplace, which marketplace you want to do. And fourth is what kind of return on investment do you perceive in this business model. So you have to really connect these dots. Unless and until you connect the dots, you'll not be able to really choose the right opportunity. And to me, the first two are very important. The important is the industry you choose. Why are you choosing that industry? And why you just attracted towards another industry? Because it looks more passion to you. So another mistake a lot of people do is they follow passion, which they want to do as an entrepreneur journey, because they're passionate about it. I hear that, that's a good thing, but fundamentally you're doing business that you can follow your other passions, right? Just because your passion is food, or a lot of people tell me, I want to start a food business because I'm a foodie. Now, if you're a foodie, then you can go out and eat as much you want to do and enjoy food wherever they are in the world. Why you want to start a restaurant? You don't want to start a restaurant because you're a foodie. Rather, it is a counterproductive, because now you are enjoying different kind of cuisines and you will be limited to one you're starting, right? So it's a counterproductive. So fundamentally, start a business which helps you achieve your life goals, not just the one part of your passion. Following passion is just one goal of your life. You have other responsibilities to fulfill. You want to look after your family. You want to really build something. You want to pass assets to your children. So a lot of other life goals are there. These life goals are not just about your passion. Rather, people pursue careers in life which are not their passion, right? So they do it because it fills their need. It fills their family desires. It makes their family achieve better goals in life, right? So business is a very strong decision. If it fits with your passion also, that's all right. That's the entire thing. But it's just not be driven from your emotional quotient. It should be driven from your intelligent quotient. That's very, very important. Always remember that to make the first choice is the most critical one. Second, now very important aspect is how are you going to fund the business? Where is the funding coming from? Are you funding from your own resources? Or are you borrowing? And what is the nature of borrowing? Are you borrowing from bank, which becomes very difficult when you are a startup? When you're starting a new co, you have no legacy, no parent, so which means that you will have to put your family collateral to take a loan on that. Or you're taking a personal loan, which can be higher in cost. Business loans are still okay, but sometimes people take personal loans or other forms of loans and take from NBFCs and a lot of other, I think, which has a very high cost of capital. So first, very clearly define what is the investment you want to do and where is the funding coming from. And this is very important, and never, ever take a risk or overexposing yourself. I have seen people who have taken unrealistic loans to start a business, and next 4 or 5 years of their life actually went to pay off that business, the loan they've taken. Just they had to do that. Like a lot of people start and take those loans on their home. Rather, I was in a particular state in Punjab, and Government is running a propaganda, which I don't want to say because it's very bad. They're actually telling people that they would regularize their slum homes and they can take a loan on that to start some business they want to do, right? So it's actually, they're trying to encourage people to pledge their homes and to start some ventures of theirs and so on and so forth. It's all wrong. This is wrong. If you are limited by capital, think about what you can do with your limited capital. What is a rush? There should be no shame. Actually, there is nobody who's watching. A lot of people, especially young people, do mistakes to impress others. Actually, 99% of people are not happy when you are starting your business. Actually, they're not. They have no concern. You're happy and I think they're not. It's your only family which you're working hard, or your near ones which are concerned. So do something which fits into your investment capability. Don't just expose yourself because you have a peer pressure. Because your friend opened up a fancy restaurant, you want to also open up a big one. You might like to start something which will become successful and in control with you. You don't want to go to your business, which is your startup, and you have a lot of pressure. Another thing which is very clearly, when you're funding your business, you need to understand the gestation. I know people fund the business because that's very defined. What is the capital required? But they don't have understanding of how much time it will take to make this business model sustainable. Very, very important. What time frame, what gestation is there? What kind of a money you need to continue to put for next 6 months, 7 months? Like you starting a healthcare business. Healthcare businesses have a very high gestation cycles because you cannot just get patients coming to you. It might take 1 year for you to settle. But once it settles, when you have investor base, patient base, then it'll continue. Then it'll continue much better. On the other side, restaurants, when you open up, get the maximum rush the day one. And then it starts stabilizing, then it gets into entire thing, and you need to keep the excitement going to continue to retain these customers, because customers go out and they start going to other places. So how to retain is a big challenge. So unless and until you're committed that every month you need to acquire a lot of new customers, that business would not work. So you need to really see how you fund the business. Third point is, how do you define your resources, the resources required for the business? And that would call for writing a business plan. And this question I want to ask to anybody who's there in this call who's done business. When you started your business, have you written a business plan? I can tell you 99.9% of people who start a business don't have a business plan. They just jump into the business. They seek guidance from others, but they don't have their own business plan. So you can take, even if you're buying a franchise, you can get full guidance from a franchisor and go back and write your own business plan. What do you want to do with this business? How you want to grow that business? What is your long-term plan on that business? That business plan should be your Bible. That should be a Bible to take that business to the next level. That's very, very important. Once you start the business, now we are coming down to the first 3 parts was really about defining resources, funding your business, making the right choice. Once you have done these 3 things, then you get on to understanding what are the legal contracts, what are the contracts we need to sign. Very important. And all contracts are very important. Very, very important. I've been to part of discussions, and I hate those discussions when people say, oh, we're just signing the contract. We don't have to do it. We have to put it into a drawer. No. When you're signing a contract, you're signing a contract. You're putting a commitment. And when you're putting a commitment, it is your right to ask as many questions you need to do that. And if you're not comfortable, you stand up and go. If you're not comfortable on something, you stand up and go. I have done personally a lot of mistakes in this because I was busy and I was rushing, and a lot of things used to happen in the rush of doing businesses. I've signed some wrong contracts, and those contracts is a pain in your life, and you really do that. And I've lost a lot of businesses purely because I had a wrong contract. I invested in the wrong guy. I started investing, and I was investing in 52 companies, and I can tell you 10 was blunders for me. I invested in wrong founders, and I've invested with them, and they were not the right people. And I had no contracts like that, which I would have protected, because those contracts were done by purely emotions and help and trusting people, or going out and just making that entire piece. And it has costed me a very, very bad. So it's very important. And that's why I want to really encourage a lot of young entrepreneurs to take help. Go to some professional, talk to the professionals, spend time with them. Talk to them, understand what contracts you need to get, what kind of contract you're getting with the franchisor, what contract you're getting with the leaseholder, what kind of other contracts you want to do in the business. Even for your employment contract, people you're hiring, even if you have a partnership. This is another mistake a lot of people are doing. They just become, suddenly two people would come and say, we are co-founders, or we are partners, we're starting together. There is no contract between them, and no relationship remains same. Relationships change. One founder wants to put 12 hours, the second is not putting. He wants to go on vacations, he wants to not that thing. Already the equation is shifting. And so I've seen friends fighting, I've seen brothers fighting, I've seen people in that thing. Even if you're doing with your relation, with your even somebody very, very close friend, have a courage to go and say, let's define between us also. Let's sign a contract between us also. And I'm giving a genuine advice to you, because I've seen a lot of places. I've seen people who have 30 years of experience fighting in courts, 30-year relationship fighting in courts. Same house, two brothers are going to same court and fighting battles. Why this all happens? Because expectation, alignment, the strategy, things change. And if you aren't doing a partnership or anything, focus on your contract. These are 4 things which are to be done before you even start. Now, when you start, let's get on to that. You need to very clearly define your business in a first, what I call 12-month journey. 12-month or maybe 2 year, depending on how you want to place that. First is your incubation cycle. Be very conservative. Control your cash in the incubation cycle. This is where reverse happens. Reverse happens by entrepreneurs. They want to indulge, they want to tell the world, grand opening, grand launch, PR, and all that happens the first day of their business, where you not even understood the business. You know, it's silly to me. It's silly to me because you are now impressing others that you are doing this business where you don't know the business. How does it matter if a particular place opens with balloons all around and things of that entire thing? It has no meaning. It's just not going to get you customers. Most of the time, the first opening when you're getting friends and families which actually are not your buyers. You know, they come to your place and you want to do that. While if you want to really do any kind of religious puja or whatever needs to be done, that's fine. But how does it matter to really create that excitement on the day one? Unless another business strategically requires it, like gyms. Gym has a lot of pre-sales. Before they open up, they do a lot of pre-sales and then do grand opening. And then they really go out of business, because business needs that they start selling 3 months before the opening. Gold Gym used to sell out the membership completely before they even open up. So that's a very strategic way of doing it, right? So if your business requires that, that's fine. But if your business is just starting from that day, you want to reserve cash, because you don't know how big the journey is. You want to really reserve cash and be in control of the business, and step by step, do every single role in your business yourself. Design yourself. So if there were, say, 15 departments in your business, or 5 departments, or 3 departments, depending on wherever, you will do every single role yourself for 1 week. 1 week, you're on the front of the house. 1 week, you're the back of the house. 1 week, you're doing something else. 1 week, you're handling marketing. 1 week, you're handling this. Now, once you're doing that, you're becoming champion of everything which needs to do. You're defining roles, you're defining processes, you are creating systems, you are bringing ownership of processes. These multiple processes add up to becoming a business. So that's something which you're doing. And so you're doing intelligently and building up this piece. So that's very, very important. Unless and until your incubation cycle is an investment cycle, you're still in investment mode, you're still doing that entire thing. And this incubation can be 3 months, it can be 6 months. But if you have done well, you're in control of business. Otherwise, you're an outsider. You have no idea about how the business runs. You have no idea. You just tell friends and families and everybody else that, look, I bought a business, I started a business, but you have no idea about how that business runs. What is the science behind that business? That's very, very important. And this is one of the areas which you need to champion. Once you have done that, then the business goes to stability stage. At that stage, answer is not really running and growing. It is about getting that stability and cash break even. You're no more burning. You're now stable. You're stable. Then you get into what I call the scale story. Scale story, how do I grow the business? How do I make it profitable? How do I take the entire thing? And from profitability, you go to sustainability. That whatever you achieved is sustainable. It's sustainable. It'll continue to go and continue to be at that level. Now, this life journey can be done in 12 months. It can be done in 2 years. It can be done in 3 years, depending on the nature of business. And if it is a business which is a large capital investment business, say you're starting a 4-star hotel or a 5-star hotel, this journey can be 5 years. This can be 5-year journey, because maybe 1 year for incubation, 2 years for stability, you're no more losing money, and then you got to high growth, you get to have peak performance or anything, and then you want to sustain there. You want to sustain there. You want to make sure that your customers are retained and they are coming back to you. So this journey is extremely, extremely important. Now, the next part, when you're running the business and you want to be a successpreneur, remember this webinar is all about how you want to be a successful entrepreneur. If you want to be a successpreneur, another thing you need to do is find co-founders. And co-founder is not with the business you start with. While you are lucky if you got a co-founder when you are starting the business with. But every business owner should find some core team, and they are core founders for you. These are people who are equally committed, they're emotionally involved, and they believe in you. Who are these people? These people might be the early ones who believed in your business. And these people have to be groomed to become co-founders. Why I'm saying this? Because if you want to really get to the next level, which is actually reproducing your success, which means duplicating your success. You got a success here, and now you want to become a successful entrepreneur, and you want to duplicate your success. I've written a book called Reproducing Success, Science of Reproducing Success. This is my book. And I've written another book called Take Charge. Both are very popular book. And third book is also Take the Tango, which is also a third book. So I've written 3 books. And one of the books was Science of Reproducing Success. How do you reproduce what successfully you've done and just reproduce? And I'm a big believer of that. And if you want to reproduce that, you need to bring in a co-founder. You need to bring somebody who can take reins and you can focus on a next incubation. Then you get there somewhere, then you can do a next incubation. So that's very, very important. That's very, very important. So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, once you have reached a business to a sustainability level, start withdrawing from that business. That means that you're not going anywhere. You're going from in the business to on the business. You're moving from this to this, right? And becoming on the business, you need to find a co-founder who would start looking after the business. And he trusts you, he trusts your leadership, and you can pass that business to them. Once that is done, then you get on to building value. Now, value is also a mindset. A lot of entrepreneurs I know run their entire life on an income style business, which means I have a profitable business. End of the month, I take some profit and take home and go out and invest into other assets. Your most performing asset, which is your business, you take money out of that and invest into not that profitable assets, which is real estate, other things, and so on and so forth, which means that you don't believe in your own business. That's why you're withdrawing money from that business and investing into businesses which are run by somebody else, like you buying into mutual funds. There are business owners who, from their earnings, buy mutual funds from other organizations. You're running a successful business yourself, and you are investing into somebody else's business, which you're not driving. It logically fails the entire thing. So how do you really build value mindset? Well, you have to take expenses from the business, but how do you build value? Don't drain your own company. Don't take your money into anything. People run businesses for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and there is nothing in the business. Whatever cash came in, they take by home. Initial days, I can understand you want to buy a house, you want to buy this, and you want to do this, but your business is not building. Your enterprise is not building. That's not growing. It's not creating value. And now mindset has changed. People want to build value. And that's why companies like Paytm or Zomato, which are not very profitable, but most valuable. So they are greatly valuable companies. And that's what the new world is all about. How do you shift mindset from income to value? These income businesses are draining because you continue to work hard and just work hard and take money, and how you build value is very important. And I've done a lot of sessions, a lot of webinars are available from me on how to build value in businesses. But think about that, because if you will build value, then the next thing, which is very important, would happen in your life. This event is called exit moment. That exit moment only happens when you build value. And that's the only time you create a wealth. Wealth creation happens because then you can pass the baton to somebody else and make a lot of wealth. So unless and until you, as a successpreneur, you're thinking with this very clear timeline, you know when your starting date is there, and you also given yourself, when is at the time I would like to exit my business, and this timeline is firm. Anything in between which happens is this whole process of taking a business, incubating the business, making it sustainable, bringing the good team so that they can handle the business and you can reproduce the success and take it to different markets and structure. Say you were successful in Delhi. Now you want to make the same success in Bombay. You want to make the same success in Bangalore. You are taking this market, different markets, your growth can come, your scale can come. And then you also building value. You're building value in your business, and at a certain stage, you're able to pass that. And successful entrepreneurs are all over who have done this in multiple times. We only talk about the big boys, the Ambanis and Adanis and likes of them, but we don't really look at success stories which are around us. Like I'm in a place called Chandigarh. There was a brand which was started by a person here called Kesh King. Kesh King was just an oil company. It was just one oil SKU, which is very popular. It was bought at about 1,500 crore valuation by Imami. Now imagine when he would have started this business, this looked like just an oil business, a very small oil company, but he got an exit of 1,500 crore to do that. So these are real success entrepreneurs. These are successful entrepreneurs who had the full journey of making a valuable enterprise and then really finding a wealth creation. And that can give you a lot of freedom to do whatever you want to do in your life, whatever you want to pursue in your life. Why you started the business at the first place would come true to you. So friends, this is a webinar which I want to do to just highlight few things and give you a little thought process. Every Sunday, I will share these ideas. Any questions you have, anything where I can help you or my enterprise can help you. Franchise India is a 1,200 people company spread in about 95 cities in India. We service our clients all over India, not only India, but Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, UAE, and we have offices in US and London also, which are represented by our parent companies. So if you are somebody who's interested to take any franchise or any help or anywhere you feel that we can be on any help, especially for young entrepreneurs, you can all reach me and I would find time out, and no obligation. You don't have to sign up any fee or anything. And I think absolutely free. I will love to help you if you genuinely need help, or you are directionless, or you feel confused, or you have some fears, or you want just a second opinion. Reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help you out. So thank you very much for your time today. It was Sunday, but we thought that we should start a new series. It's called Successpreneur. Every week, I will bring in some ideas on how to build and make it successful. Hopefully, I was able to give you some insights and hope you were able to take some take-home answers from this webinar. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time today. And I'm putting my direct mobile number and or maybe a business hotline number, which I'm putting in. You can send your query on this number. This would reach to me. This is 97176838838. You can note down. It's coming in the chat box. 97176838838. Send a little bit profile of yours. What brings you here? What you want to do? Somebody, Sanjay is saying, I want to start a stock trading business. Somebody wants to start a low-cost franchise business. Oliver is saying, I want to do that. Somebody wants to do a financial services. So you firmed up some mind because it might be coming from your strategic thinking. So we have all the opportunity. We have 1,000+ opportunities available with us. We can help your requirement, but think on a little holistic, long-term viewpoint, what it takes to not just become an entrepreneur, but become a successful entrepreneur. So thank you very much. Enjoy your Sunday. And if you have anything to reach out to us, please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to take your advice or suggestion, and see you next Sunday when I do the next series of Successpreneur. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time today.